debatable if it's our hometown, really. I mean, Graham wasn't born there. I wasn't born there. Alex wasn't born there. Graham and I met each other at secondary school. So when we were 12, we met each other in Colchester. And I stayed there until I was 18. But the day after I finished my education, I left for London. So it's a kind of place where we spent our teenage years, but in a hometown doesn't quite have that feel about it, you know what I mean? But obviously an important place in our development, and we wouldn't have met each other unless we'd gone to that school there. Yeah, in that sense, it was nice to go back there. Yeah, it hasn't changed much really over the years. And the venue we played in was actually the first place that Graham and I used to go out and listen to music when we were like really young and enjoy the illicit pleasures of underage drinking. Oh well, I don't think you can go back and play songs like Part Life or Song 2 unless you move forward before you do it, you know. And that's why this year's been amazing, really, because I finished all the demos for the album in December and played them like in the first week of January to the band, and then we worked on them for 6 weeks or so, and completely, actually 2 months, I would say, the whole process took. But we didn't, during that time, think about, oh, we've got to play these concerts. We didn't think about that at all. We were just thinking in the sense of how can we make this record as the best we can. And it was only really sort of six weeks, 2 months ago that we actually realised, oh shit, we've got to do these concerts. We better learn all our old songs again. So I think that's the secret to playing your old stuff, is not to not dwell on it. You know, trust that you will remember it when you need to. But don't spend too much time. You've got to get the spirit right. The spirit of the band has got to be in the right place. Then everything is much easier. If I don't want to sing a song, or Graham doesn't want to play his guitar parts, so we just don't do it. There's no pressure on us in really to play what everyone wants us to play. But sometimes the most obvious songs are the most pleasurable to play, and sometimes that just isn't the case. Well, I suppose by calling it the Ballad of Darren, we kind of it allows the album to be about all of us. He kind of sort of is the unifying force of all of us, you know? So in a sense, Darren is all of us. I think obviously the ballad is a style of song that kind of usually tells a story and usually, you know, has a certain melancholy to it. So I think it's appropriate in that sense. We've written a lot of ballads. I think we are in some ways a band that writes ballads. But Darren, yes, as I said, it's a name that formally here in association to in the kind of, you know, the genre or the oeuvre of balladeering. But, you know, I think go back to traditional ballads, they were always kind of sort of songs about normal people, you know, the tales of normal people's adventures. And so in that sense, it's quite appropriate. Really. Yeah, probably. I mean, you've definitely got to kind of sort of know, you've got to have looked in the mirror a lot. When you go out on that stage, you've got to sort of know who you are, you know. If you'd never looked in the mirror and you went on the stage, you wouldn't have any idea who you were. But giving it the types of narcissists is more a kind of sort of a nod really to the idea that we live in the most narcissistic age ever in mankind. There's a pandemic of narcissism. It's the noise at the end. Yeah, I think that's just everything that's been, all the pent up anger and anxiety and uncertainty, all just manifesting itself in one massive sound of feedback, and then it just gone. Much like life, really. My daughter is my main kind of sort of, yeah, she's always the first one to play me anything that comes out of Argentina or Mexico. She speaks Spanish and she's always loved Spanish music and Latin music. yeah, it's something it's something we can share together. But she's the expert. I follow. You know, I know my shit, but I mean, you know, when it comes to like the latest thing to come out of somewhere, I'm not necessarily going to pick up on it before her, because she's much more kind of tuned into what's happening. Treno, the first thing she played me was some of his freestyles back in the day, you know, and you could just see that they were brilliant, you know, and so when we found out we were on the same bill, it was like, well, that would just be amazing if you came on and did Clint Eastwood with us, and it worked out really well, you know. It was a privilege to work with him. We used to fight quite a lot back then. We don't do that now though, but yeah, we did. Of course we used to fight, yeah. Graham left the band soon after that period, so you can imagine it wasn't a great time. But that's a long time ago now.